Safia and Hill. Quiet is the exit of clouds after the rain.
Quiet is sleeping on the road trip home.
Quiet is palms kissing damp grass. Quiet is the time my mother cried alone. And while my father wrapped himself in regret, the wind grew feet and stood on our roof. The opening of a bottle is the cracking of autumn branches. Quiet is my yard, veiled in leaves year-round.
Quiet is 6 years undone. It is my aunt holding a lighter to a pipe, concealing plastic chips in a drawer. Quiet is the shockwave when she slams the drawer. Family photographs tumbling from the shelves.
Quiet is a house of clean ashes. My father lit the match with his mouth and let himself soak in kerosene. Quiet is kerosene.
My aunt is relapse, waiting to ignite. Quiet is what comes next. After the word slips into your stomach and cuts a hole in the bottom.
My father is rain. My father is a sky of lopsided stars pointing nowhere. He is more of a man when he doesn't speak. So every time he hollows a bottle of vodka, the sky around me gets harder to look at. Quiet is focusing on one star.
My aunt is named Star. My aunt is the hitch in my lungs, the drowning of my eyes. My aunt is absence. Absence is my mother explaining addiction to a 2-year-old.
Quiet is forgetting the sky when I was 13. My father stood by the stove. Only a few drinks in, he looked at me and he said, "Boy, I would go to war for you." Today, whenever my father isn't talking, we pretend that being a man means barely getting up the stairs. That manhood is the amount of alcohol it takes for you to spill the storm from your hands. My father has never been hard to love, but there are times when I've wanted to leave him to stumble. I have dealt with weight. We stand firm but never fight. Always tighten the fist but never the bond. Sharpen the word but never the action. So when I look at my father's eyes, I see the war he said he'd fight. It was me.
Guilt has jagged edges. I let it cut into me, but I do not bleed. I've given her 18 years of my blood already. Yes, hers is sick, and I ask the world to understand her, to forgive her. But the first time I heard she was missing, I saw my mom scream at a crack dealer. The last time I heard she was missing, I hoped she'd be found in jail. That gave us 6 years last time. This time, she chose a binge over my graduation. She chose a rock over my graduation.
I'm hypocrisy. Support is asking the world to love him.
Support is asking the world to hold her when the ledge collapses.
Quiet is denying there has always been a fall. Quiet was my porch before stuttering raindrops.
Quiet was the faint hum in the air when I knew she was gone.
Quiet was every time I prayed. Quiet was when I realized that prayer would not hide the bottom. Quiet was my hands held at my sides, and I do not speak myself into guilt.
Instead, I let the silence pray for me.